Right. It's 20 years today since the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, after she was killed in a car accident in Paris.
Jane Hesketh has been speaking to some of the people who met Diana when she came to the East Midlands and hearing about their memories. Now, a warning, there is flash photography in Jane's report from the start.
She was one of the most photographed women in the world, and as patron of many charities in her lifetime, Princess Diana's presence gave them a much-needed boost and put them in the spotlight. Here she is, arriving at the headquarters of the brain injury charity Headway, based in Nottingham. Her involvement saved them from closure.
At the time that Diana agreed to become our patron, Headway only had 3 weeks left. 3 weeks of expenditure left in its bank account, and she made a huge difference. And I think when you look back and reflect on that, then had she not agreed to take on that role at that time, the charity may not have survived. So the hundreds of thousands of people that we've helped since probably don't know it, but should be very grateful to Diana.
No doubt she'd be proud that Prince Harry's followed in her footsteps and also visited the charity to see the work they do. But it was her pride in Prince William at a reception in Kensington Palace that sticks in Peter's mind.
A young Prince William made a speech, and my eyes were drawn to her, not to him, because whilst he was making that speech, she was quite clearly as proud as any parent could be. Her pride in her son just radiated outwards. And of course that's something that we all know from the stories of Diana, but on that occasion I could really see it. And I couldn't take my eyes off her, even though most of the other people were listening. I was listening to William, but watching Diana. And it was a great moment, and it will stay with me for the rest of my days.
Homestart in Leicester was another cause close to Diana's heart. She agreed to support them and visited in 1991. Everyone was a bit nervous.
We were a bit worried, of course, what was going to happen and what we'd say and how the visit would go, but in fact it went swimmingly. It was really good. She was very well briefed. I was surprised how knowledgeable she was. She talked quite a lot about postnatal depression. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that sort of discussion. I was expecting perhaps a lighter discussion than that.
But like many who met her, she wasn't just a princess or a patron, she was also a style icon.
One of the things I really noticed, first of all, was how tall she was. She not only was 5'11", but she had 4-inch heels on, so she towered over everybody, especially the main organiser, who, I don't know how tall she is, about 5'3", I should think. So she towered over all of us. Of course, she was beautifully turned out. Except I did notice she had a ladder in her tights, which I was really surprised about.
Sometimes her charity work was controversial. Her involvement with the leprosy mission showed she wasn't afraid to try and help the most vulnerable people in the world.
She was determined to make a difference by breaking down barriers. She went and held the hands of a patient in this hospital in Indonesia when all of her advisors were saying not to go near. So while they stood behind the glass doors, she ventured forward and sat on the bed and put her arms around the patients and just broke down so many barriers.
Since her death, many books have been written about Diana, including 2 by her former butler. Paul Burrell is now a florist, but worked for Diana for 10 years. He says it's her sense of fun he most remembers.
Princess was fun, she was naughty, she was, I remember that giggling laughter, I remember the naughtiness, I remember going down the high street to choose the rudest cards from Doug Richness, and I remember doing things with her which she thought was out of step with normal royal life. For instance, we had this joke. Whenever we went down the high street, she'd go into Boots and she'd say, "Watch me." And she'd walk towards the predictor counter, the pregnancy kits, and she'd pick one up and she'd read it and she'd look around and she knew that people were watching her, but that was the way she did things. She said, "Now they'll all say I'm having a baby."
He doesn't think that as the years pass there will be any dimming of the fondness and fascination people have for Diana.
I think we'll always talk about Diana because we loved her. I think we'll always talk about Diana because she was before her time. We will never see the likes of someone like her again. Not in our lifetime.
20 years on, hard to believe. Right, time